Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. 1M1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual incubator and accelerator in the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. We are headquartered in Silicon Valley, but we operate globally, so you can join the program from anywhere in the world. You don't need to be physically in any location. We work with any entrepreneur anywhere in the world. It's a 100% virtual program. This is our 268th online strategy roundtable that we do freely for, in a public roundtable mode. We do many more of those in the private premium program, but just in the free public roundtable mode, we've done, this is our 268th one, so we've been doing this for a while. The event is being recorded. You will have the recording available on our blog as well as on the YouTube channel. If you're live tweeting the show, please use hashtag 1M1M and join us on Twitter at 1M by 1M and at Romana. Those are our two handles. We publish a lot of rich content through these channels. And the YouTube channel, by the way, is 1M1M Roundtables, where you will find recordings of all prior sessions. These are the call-in instructions. We're not quite ready for call-ins yet. I will put the slide up later. But the reason I put it on now is so that you know that there will be a call-in section in the session today. And please, think of questions that you want to ask. We want you to ask questions. We want you to engage. We want you to participate as much as possible because this is a roundtable, right? It is not for me to talk to you. That's a broadcast. That's not what we're doing. We're doing a roundtable. It's an interactive roundtable where we want to work together on your issues and try to address your issues. So it's a working session. So please treat it as such and make sure that you get value out of the program by asking questions, by getting your issues discussed and dialogued over. So we have a number of presenters today. We will start with Arunav Parihar. Arunav, please unmute your line and deliver your pitch, please.
Hey, hi, thanks. To meet you. I have started in food delivery start in tier 2. I'm at Kharagpur, and my friends are from IIT Kharagpur, Indian Institute of like in
Aruna, your line is very unclear. It's kind of cutting in and out.
Oh, is it okay now?
That's better, yes.
Okay. Okay, so I was asking for the next slide, and I was introducing myself and my co-founders, who are all from IIT Kharagpur, West Bengal. And we graduated from Kharagpur in 2008. A couple of us went to ISB. After that, Indian School of Business in Hyderabad. And I was in Beijing for 5 years, and essentially this whole concept was inspired by friends over there. And we wanted to start in India tier 2, tier 3, essentially because about 65–70% of urban Indian population is in these cities. The internet awareness is the only constraint, and we kind of nulled that out with toll-free phone numbers for the consumers. What we do is we collaborate with the restaurants for their food. We do not have any minimum order limit. We don't have any restriction in the reach, because in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, essentially within 15–20 kilometers of radius, the city wraps up. So at the end of the month, we average out to a ticket size of around 350–360 Indian rupees. And we, at this point of time, we are delivering up to 17,000 INR every day.
And what is your business model?
Our business model is we take commission from the restaurant, about 20% or say up to 16% in case we are really unknown in the new cities. And we try to as far as possible. If we can come down to the third slide. It was pretty simple. It was laid out simple on what exactly we do, what service we offer to the complete food and to a restaurant who is really, grill logistics management, all his to create really fabulous food and let people enjoy. So we take care of the logistics. We can reach to much further. I mean, there are a lot of consumers who want to day in, day out, but really cannot go there because of the traffic or say other comments. So we make sure that these consumers really start blaming the restaurants after that.
What city are you doing this at right now?
We are in Vadodara, Gujarat and Indore, Madhya Pradesh. I am in Noida and Surat.
And how many restaurants in each of these cities are working with you?
We have about 85. Or 86 right now.
85 in each city or 85 total restaurants?
120 in Indore, 85 in Vadodara, Indore.
And how do the consumers find out that they can get stuff delivered like this? Is the restaurant offering them the phone number to order delivery, or are you marketing separately?
We are trying both routes. Suggest the consumer contact us, or we get the order through the restaurants and then reach out the consumers with our pamphlets. And we are also using flyers in the newspapers, and our delivery boys delivering food. They are delivering the flyers and pamphlets to houses and these societies.
So based on the revenue that you've generated so far, the validation that you've got, what is the experience? Where are you primarily generating the customers from? Is it through restaurants? Is it through your flyers? Is it through what is the primary customer acquisition channel so far?
It's through restaurants and word of mouth that's spreading in the universities and professional groups, like young professionals who are single and traveling in the city. They talk about us, and we get to know about through the feedback forms that we ask for.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's go to your questions. Why are you, by the way, one question I thought of earlier, and I'm looking at this traction slide, and I'm wondering, why are you going to so many cities at once? Just penetrating one city is a tough enough proposition. Why are you spreading yourself thin and going to so many cities with such little traction?
Yeah, the thing is, we really thought this as something that will showcase our capability to expand. At this point of time, it's just that we need some funding on marketing, on really, to bugle our voice and tell people that we are over here. Otherwise, if we are in more number of cities, we essentially are trying to get a setup in our call center, and we are just trying to develop the capability of being everywhere.
It's a wrong strategy, by the way.
And Madhya Pradesh. Sorry?
It's a wrong strategy. Retail concepts like this need to be piloted and scaled in one city before you expand to other cities. Any investor will tell you that.
Right. No, I mean, I have been told that by a couple of them. I mean, it's something that I've been hearing. But my thought was, that the number of consumers who are there in each of these cities are not as much as I would have in, say, Mumbai. But in Mumbai, I won't be able to deliver from any restaurant to any place. So the vision was really getting constrained. Getting to
the whole investment game is about TAM. If you're saying that the TAM in each of the cities is very small, then your overall TAM is going to be very small, and that's something that investors will have problems with. If the reason you're expanding to various cities is because the TAM in each city is very small, then you have a problem, because investors invest in large TAM, fast growth businesses.
Exactly. I mean, what I have been saying is, when I go to these new cities with the capability or the talent that we have developed in the other city, say the city head or the delivery supervisors, these people really use their experience and help build us in these cities. And with very minimal spending on marketing.
You're not hearing me. That's not my point. You have a mental model, but you're not hearing what I'm telling you. And it sounds like other people have tried to tell you this, and you basically ignored their feedback as well. So I can only help you if you listen to what I'm saying. If you're going to ignore it, there's no point in my giving you that feedback.
No, I'm not ignoring it. I'm listening to it. And thing is, we have stopped. We have stopped, and we have scaled our plans down. We are not really looking to be in, say, 15, 20 cities in 10 months. We are really targeting to be.
Arnav, if you were to focus exclusively on indoor, how big a business can you build in indoor? What is the revenue potential of indoor?
Probably about 5 times it is now in total. So
what is that amount?
Revenue in the
per year, how much can you generate in indoor?
Per year, about 3 crores.
Per year, 3 crores in indoor. So let's multiply that by 3. If you're looking at similar size cities, you're 30, 35 cities, 3 crores each. That's like a 90 crore, 100 crore kind of total available market, which is very small. Investors don't invest in stuff like this. Friends and family would invest. You can build a nice, 100 crore a year business, and that's perfectly okay. But the investment that you should look for then is friends and family investment, not professional investors.
Okay.
Professional investors are looking for $1 billion plus, market size and very fast growth, 100% year-over-year growth at least in the first 3 years. For that to be interesting.
Right, and that's precisely why I was trying to, look out for tier 2, tier 3 cities where I could really scale my model up. But at this point of time, with the focus getting down to deeper penetration in the cities that we are in, I think that really constrains the growth potential. And that's why this whole, this whole tension point on what I should be doing. Either it should be expanding explosively in number of cities where I can, with minimal linguistic or demographic constraints, because we use the call center as much as possible, and we try to give the consumer a human touch where they don't, in case they don't really want to use the app or internet, they can always call and talk with us, tell us how much salt they want in their food. People love doing that. But if we are there in only one city, probably will be constrained by the population, and more effort on marketing will be needed, advertisement will be needed.
Yeah, so, my take on this is you're going to need to bootstrap this business. If you want money, it will have to be friends and family money, and then you build organically, and I would build them city by city. I would kind of try to penetrate. I would try to generate 3 crores from Indore before going and setting up in Lucknow. If you think that there is a reasonable 3 crores a year potential in Indore, I would try to generate at least a good portion of that in Indore instead of trying to generate that across 5 cities. Right now, you're, well below that, right? Your revenue level is much, much lower. So the question I would ask myself is, what would it take for me to go from, to maximize penetration in Indore? And since you're already in Vadodara and Indore and you have your infrastructure set up, how can you generate 5-6 crores of revenue out of those 2 cities? That's the real question that you should be asking right now. And how fast can you generate that? Because if you can show that you can do that very fast, that would also be, something that would be interesting. There are 2 issues. One is the growth rate, and 2 is the overall market size. So the overall market size seems small to me, but conceivably you can also do the larger cities once you have the smaller cities done, although I imagine that there will be more competition in the larger cities. But nonetheless, there is a large urban population in India that you could be catering to increase the market size, but you absolutely need to establish a growth rate that is interesting. And the only way you can do that is by focusing on a city and really maximizing your penetration there. You shouldn't be investing so much in creating logistics in 5 different cities. It's absolutely the wrong strategy. Word of mouth spreads much better if you're in one segment, in one geography where you can really get lots of penetration, because the more penetration you get in Indore, the more the word of mouth is going to spread within Indore. That word of mouth is not going to spread that quickly if you spread yourself thin across cities. Okay?
Very. I think will be so easy, and it's very helpful.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we'll have more chance to talk during Q&A if you like. I'm going to thank you, Anurag, for your presentation. We're going to go to Shailendra Hanumante, or Hanuman.
Thank you.
I'm not sure how you pronounce your name, Shailendra. Please unmute your line and tell us what you're working on.
Hello. Morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Perfect. So my name is Shailendra, and I'm from Mumbai. And, we have a startup in the name Decibol Infotech Solutions. The 3 verticals what we've carved up is, outsourcing, then there's consulting and web solutions. I'm going to spend some time in crisp talking about outsourcing, the model which we've made from a business model perspective, the segment what we want to cater to, and then I have some the segmentation analysis, which in a very crisp format. I think we can just go to the second slide. Right, a quick introduction about myself. I work with Bharti Airtel, which is now 4th largest telecom player across the world and #1 in India. I was instrumental in strategizing, implementing revenue generation programs for the Southeast Asia for Bharti Airtel. This was predominantly where you call it as an upsell programs, right? A very old concept in the US. But yeah, we were able to substantiate a lot of revenue back in the company by selling data packs and some telecom products. The last stint was managing partner operations for about 6,000 odd people from a headcount perspective, and managing the large portfolios for retailer and the customer service. On the left-hand side is a quick logos for anybody to see quickly, as a representation of the companies, which is Airtel, Emphasis, Convergys, and Sutherland Global Services, which is a Rochester-based BPO, and is pretty big in India in terms of the scale and the size what they operate on. I also had an opportunity to work with Convergys for, as a client as an artist. So from a perspective, like what you see here as a service vertical, we're talking about outsourcing, we can talk about consulting and web solutions. Like I said, I'm going to talk more about outsourcing on this particular webinar, is the contact center support, the lead management, outbound campaigns, and some amount of back office operations. We can move to the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to spend some time here. So the crux of the global market, whether it is anywhere in the US or for that matter in India as well, right? The real estate, I've just broadly classified into three sectors, which is real estate, then manpower, and client and a customer. So the crux of the whole thing is real estate across major cities is very, very expensive, right? Whether you go it on rent or you want to buy it, the real estate is expensive. The rentals of the particular real estate, they are increasing year after year as a normal norms or a 3 years of time, and they put a stress on the balance sheet. The manpower, right? The manpower, there are overhead costs, which we incur every time, every month. There are compliance issues. There are Minimum Wages Act, right? So for example, you got to be in the U.S. There is a minimum salary of about $3,750. Somebody has to, be paid, right? And more importantly, the managing expectation of the staff during appraisal and the annual salary hike becomes slightly, a process which slightly difficult for any entrepreneur or any SMB segment, business unit guy to manage. And the last thing is the customer. He says that how can I get something more from the existing point? You know what? I'm getting someone to do better than what you're doing at a far lower price. So this is normal, thing which is the VOC from the customer coming in right just before the contracts are going to get reviewed for the next year. So that's the crux of the segmentation analysis, Shmarna. And if you go on to the next slide. All right, so we're talking about what's the value proposition, right? Value proposition from Desi Bol is we believe in small is big. After having worked in large corporates, which is Bharti Airtel, after having serviced a US, a large giant at that. I kind of lost it.
Yeah, I think your call was went dead.
Yeah, are you there? I can hear you.
Yes, we're here.
So, all right, terrific. So I'm saying that for a large service provider, there is a large for a large company there is a large service provider. But what happens to the guy who's a startup company? What happens to somebody who's a small company, who's a medium-based, a business unit, right? Typically, this is a segment which is not captured much. There's no method to the madness in terms of the contact center industry here in India to support somebody from the US, right? So I have kind of, we've evolved, we've made this model that you get a manpower, you get telephony done. If you have CRM systems, great. Otherwise, we will deploy our own systems, right? We'll give you reports what you want at the agreed frequency, and more importantly, we'll also provide you analytics for your own business, all inclusive at a $999. So that is the disruption which we kind of want to create in the market and really create the value to SMB segment customer or a business unit owner, where he would probably have only 10 seats to be outsourced, or maybe a 20 people outsourcing is what he wants to outsource. But today he could not, or he doesn't outsource because not too many people in India are into this segment. The minute you say contact centers in India, they're all class building. The minute you say contact centers is about 1,000 people, 2,000 people working for one account. I mean, I was working for HP as a service provider, and we had some 4,000 people working on HP account. In Optus, for Australia, we had about 2,500 people working for one account. So for a Fortune 500 people organizations, right, who are in the Fortune 500, there are a lot many people who are there to support. But the guy who needs the most, right?
let me see if I understood this. You are offering outsourced telemarketing, telesales, web sales, and associated reporting to small, medium businesses in the United States from India. That's the crux of your value proposition. And this $999 per seat is monthly or annual?
No, this is monthly. This is monthly.
Okay.
So this includes the guy on the phone who would take a customer service or book an appointment for you, for example, right? And includes the telephony cost and all of that what you see on the pie. I mean on the scoop. All of that put together is a $999 proposition.
Okay.
Right, so we definitely want to create the value into the segment what we want it to be, and we have a hunch of conviction. I have a hunch of conviction that we should. It's a little difficult because many a number of times, people don't want to outsource because they don't know, will they really get that manpower or the quality of manpower what they really want, right? And they really don't know whether the CRM systems, would they have? They might operate on Excel. Right, so they really would not know whether where to get a CRM from, right? So it's slightly difficult for me to solution each customer, but yeah, as a startup, we are there in the market for the last 16 days now. Till the time we got the model right, till the time we got the center up and running. Now we're up in the market doing promos and telling people that, hey, you know what? You would probably incur an operating cost of about $3,000 roughly, which includes your manpower, your telephony, right? Here is an option that you all-inclusive is a $999 proposition. I've started doing SEOs. I've started doing promos, all the Facebook marketing and the social media campaigns. And my initial responses are very, very good because nobody would probably think that, you know what, can I outsource 5 seats operation? Can I outsource 10 seats? And could be an automobile service station guy where you can just go and book an appointment on the phone. Can I get my car for service? And the guy says that no, you got to get it tomorrow or maybe next week at 5 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's the value proposition. I mean, the guy on the phone and the telephony will take him. So that's a straight saving for $2,000 per seat the guy is going to make. If he has 10 people on the phone, he's going to increase his valuation. For every dollar he's going to save, right, he's going to be richer by 6 times. I mean, you are the mentor and you know it all. But yeah, I mean, from a perspective, here is what we're trying to offer into the market and say that, we are here to enable you to take the benefit of what we have on the table, to offer and increase your valuation.
So this, by the way, Shailendra, is something that is already happening in the market. People are doing this, so I don't see why it wouldn't work. It's a matter of execution. The concept has been validated elsewhere. So there are a lot of people who are doing it. So I think it's a matter of you starting to get a few customers and start to build. Don't leave it at a concept stage. Start executing.
Not at all, not at all. I mean, that's where, we definitely want to do. The prototype has been spelled success for the last 15 years. It is just this segment, which is the small and medium business, where not too many people want to enter this segment because there's a lot of investment which happens in India, to get that set up from a capex investment standpoint. So when you put that amount of capex, you really want one customer who's going to steadily pay you that amount of money. But I have a hunch, like what I said, just from a dollar value standpoint. Yeah.
I agree with you that there's an opportunity in SME.
Absolutely. So we plan to clock about $1.4 million revenue in the first year of operation. So we are in July right now. So next year by this time, 12 months, I think we should be about $1.4 million. I have about 123 seats to be outsourced. I can run operations from. And then in the phase 2, I will probably, take about 80 more seats or about 100 more seats and give a steady state. Then, advertise back in the US and say, hey, you know what, these are the number of people who've taken advantage. This is how they have amount of saved money. And then create a value proposition for the guys who kind of, trusted us at the stage where we are today, right? And give them a benefit.
Very good.
And I
probably get started.
Yeah.
Shailendra, get started
Thank you so
and
much.
get going.
Yeah. I'm going to.
This is an
This is
execution
slide
game.
number 9. It's an execution game. You said it right. You said it right, absolutely. And I've been doing it for the last 15 years. So domestic market, we kind of going a little slow in India, but I know that this is going to be a super hit in the US because people really want it, right? But they probably don't know whom to reach.
I think I need to move on. I've heard your pitch. I think we all understand what you're trying to do. It's a proven concept. It's a question of whether you can acquire effectively and profitably customers from the SME segment. That's the real trick here.
That's the real trick. Can you slide number 9? And I would probably want some inputs for you for 30 seconds, about a minute. And while we're doing what we're doing, I would probably want to take some inputs from you on the slide, which is.
Can you be quick because we need to move? Your time is up.
I'm done. I just want inputs from you, which is support required. There's a slide. If you could just come
on
to
what?
the slide.
What is the question? I don't understand the question from these bubbles.
So from a communication strategy standpoint, we communicating to people. Is there any more number of groups or forums where we could reach and tell people that here is an option for you to kind of increase your valuation?
So Shailendra, you need to learn how to sell it. From what you've presented so far, it seems like you know a lot about how to execute on a project, how to manage these large call centers and so forth, but the piece that is missing is the customer acquisition strategy. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's weak at this point of time.
Yeah, so I'll be happy to work with you on that if you'd like, but that would have to be within the program. If you decide that you want to work with 1 million by 1 million, I'll be happy to teach you everything about customer acquisition strategy and work with you on what is the right strategy for your business. We do all that. We have full
Perfect.
We have full training on all of that. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Rahul, you're up next. Thank you, Shailendra.
Okay.
Hi, Samantha.
Shailendra, can you put your phone on mute? I think it's streaming some noise into the call. All right, that's better. Rahul, can you speak and let's see if the audio is clear?
Yes. Hi, Samantha. Hi. How are you?
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, this is regarding my startup. It's known as AyeSign, and as you can see, it's Go Paperless, Go Secure is our tagline. That means basically we end up digitalizing documents, which are actually right now paper-based in India. See, so AyeSign is an e-governance services delivery web portal with an inbuilt document management system integrating digital identities. I know, and I don't know whether you understood it or not. It's a little hard to understand, but AyeSign is basically an e-governance services delivery portal. So that means we deliver some e-governance services. Along with, we have an inbuilt document management system for each digital identity. I mean, each digital identity has its own document management system. Now, why we need this, and why is there any need of this? This is on the next slide. You can turn it over there. Yeah. See, so AyeSign basically lets entities, I mean, it can be an organization or a government or a bank or individual, anybody, to digitally host or digitally create or to share or to sign their documents, forms, or applications. For they can just host, they can use our platform, which is there right in the middle, to host their documents and all for being digitally processed. I mean, there are many documents for few services. Always you need to sign. You need to always keep on signing documents for major services you require. That is in healthcare, education, or telecom, or financial. Everywhere there's a lot of documents and all. But still, I mean, it lets you host those documents on its server, and it delivers services like eKYC and eContact. These are a few services which I'll be talking about later. I mean, why actually the need is there for all of this. Why can't it just be? I mean, why can't it be digitally processed by the individual organization itself? And why there is a need for me. So next slide, please. Now, I think you got the point over there.
Rahul, let me ask you one question before we move on to the next slide. what is the point that you're trying to convey from this slide? Are your customers government agencies that then interface with all kinds of other places?
No, it's basically a web portal. AyeSign is a web portal, and it lets you host your documents. I mean, the organization's document or some business document. I mean, a document just for availing a service, or means, for example, I'll take an example. If you want to buy an insurance policy here in India, so there you need to sign few documents. You need to fill a KYC form, that is Know Your Customer form, and all these are done offline today. I mean, there is no way that you can actually sign a form online in India valid as per the law. You see, the word as valid as per the law is here because that's what we do. So it's a document management system for each digital identity. Digital identity is a user. I mean, you, me, or an organization or a business, we all are digital identities as per the electronic form. And we have a dedicated document management system with a set services, set e-governance services and document management related services inbuilt in it, so that we can use it to do various transactions. This is basically AyeSign is.
So your customer then is the consumer with the digital identity?
Even a business has a digital identity, even an individual has a digital identity, and we do have this kind of digital identities in India and valid as per the law, which is a recent breakthrough. I mean, it is under the banner of Digital India. That has a new thing has come up. Too many things have come up with this Digital India campaign which is going on in India. So see, why the need is there. Okay. The IT Act 2000 of India, of the second most populous country in the world, has adopted PKI for securing electronic transactions. So do you understand PKI? That is public key infrastructure. Do you understand this term, Samana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm not comfortable with this architecture assumption that it's going to be a web portal. If you look at the companies in that space, in AyeSign, DocuSign, and all that have done very well in the digital infrastructure, the digital signature space, they have catered to enterprises. Can you let me finish, Rahul, just 1 second?
Yeah.
So all these companies have catered to enterprises as the primary customers. So the enterprises are the ones who are paying, and then they're basically streamlining their processes such that all the signatures are happening online, and they're creating this infrastructure such that people who are doing business with them can interact on an online basis.
Yeah.
That model has a go-to-market strategy where the enterprise has money and budgets to invest in creating digital signature infrastructures, and then people who transact with these businesses will accordingly get on a digital signature process through that infrastructure. Now here you're saying that you're going to create a portal and anybody and everybody are going to go on that portal. That means that all the initial financial outlay is yours, and it's the business model you're going to have trouble with.
Yeah, that is okay. But see, there are two things. One is electronic signatures and the other one is digital signatures. Now the companies we are talking about, all the companies we are talking about, they deal only with electronic signatures. They do not deal with digital signatures, because digital signatures is only valid in India. I mean, in India you cannot sign with electronic signatures. You can only sign with a digital signature. That has to be in a PKI based format. I mean, if I use DocuSign to sign a document which is related to something with India, then it is not valid as per the law. Number one, because it's an electronic.
Maybe, but that doesn't mean that their go-to-market strategy or business model cannot be valid for India. You can create the PKI infrastructure, but use the DocuSign model to go to market. Those are two different things. Architecture, design decisions, and go-to-market strategy, these are completely different things.
No, that is not possible, because for that you need to understand where does the digital signature come from. Now you cannot, I mean, any organization cannot just create a digital signature and give it to you like this. Okay, this is your digital signature and you can use it. For example, DocuSign cannot create a digital signature and give it to you to use it, because that is not valid as per the law. In India, you have to get the digital signature from a PA. that is a certifying authority only. And he will first take up your documents, he will verify your identity, he will match it with the document database that, yeah, everything is correct. Now you can have the digital signature and you can use it, I mean, for an electronic document or for any other transaction you want. Otherwise, if you use electronic signature, then no, nothing, and it is just rubbish. It's not valid as per law. So that is why you need a portal so that where you can actually use the digital signature. Now, digital signatures are very complex. I mean, they're not easy to use. It's a USB drive actually, which has and a set number of drivers have to be on your laptop to use that USB drive. And it has the key, I mean your private key inside it, and when you insert the drive into the computer, then the private key, okay, comes up, and then that private key attached with the document, and then it becomes digitally signed. Otherwise, I mean, that's the only way that it is valid in India. What you're talking about the other countries. Yes, they have recognition for electronic signatures. It's very easy, just copy paste, and your document is ready and it is signed. But in India, it is not like this. You need to have a digital signature first, and then you need to have a portal or a service or a software to use it. This is a problem, and these are very latest breakthroughs which have come up. And yeah, are you following me?
Yes, I'm following you. That still doesn't take away the issue of business model from this business plan.
I mean, just for example, can I take an example? Can I use an example?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. For example, I need to open a bank account here in India. Okay. Now, what do I need to do? You tell me. Do I need to contact the bank?
I'm not going to tell you anything. You tell me what you want to say.
Okay. Just so what basically current scenario is, I call the bank. Now the bank guys call me. Then he comes up with forms and all. Then he takes my signatures on them, and then he takes my identity proof, my address proof, and maybe a few more things. And then he takes them back and gives it to the bank. They process it. And then once it is processed, my account is open. So there is no way I have done it online. Actually, there is a person in between who has come to collect the documents, who has done my verification, who has done everything, and then he has gone to the bank to submit the documents, and then my account got open. And here at AyeSign, everything like this can be done online without even touching a piece of paper. And I know it's a little complex right now, but that is the only way out of it. What will happen is the bank will host its form on my website. Very simple. It will simply host its form on my website. I have a digital identity-based system. I mean, if he wants that the form should come up for Samana only, then I have your identity and pop there's the form on your screen. You open the form, you fill it, you use my tools which are already available with you. If you want to use your DSC, okay, you use your digital signature, and then you want to verify your identity.
You haven't answered my question. Is the bank paying?
Yes, the bank will pay. Yes. Yes.
So how does this work? Are you doing deals so it is not very different actually. You're basically doing a cloud-based service where you're going to have to do enterprise deals exactly the way DocuSign does. That's what I was telling you. That the go-to-market architecture may need to be different, but go-to-market strategy needs to be exactly the same as DocuSign and the others.
For the same reason, I have done a dual front strategy. I mean, I'm basically attacking, or you can say that I'm basically capturing the market from two ends. One is the thing that I am giving a cloud-based facility to sign the documents and all. I mean, till now, number one thing is in India there is no such portal operating till now. Okay, what I'm talking about is it does not exist till now, but the need is there. I mean, if you need to digitally sign a document, then there is no way you can do it right now. So, I
think that's absolutely correct. That some form of digital signature is a standard fare in business these days, at least in a lot of the Western countries. So if you're saying that India needs a different architecture and the current model doesn't work, then yes, that's a valid. I think that's a valid observation.
But
you will still have to sell to the banks and the corporations who are going to be using your system. That's what I meant when I said your go-to-market strategy needs to be an enterprise go-to-market strategy.
All right. I'm CC. This is my first startup, and I'm new to this. Still for 2 3 years, I've been working on the idea itself, working on the services and all. Maybe I could have missed that thing. I can do it. But why I'm not my dual front attack that you didn't understand. See, now this is one thing that I need to sell it to everybody. I need to sell it to the bank. I need to sell it to the insurance company. I need to sell it to the mobile company and all, and then meetings and all. So this is a bit of a problem. Now the second way out is that it's not plan B, it's a parallel plan. Now the thing is, the major number of documents in India are in contracts, are used in contracts. I mean, there are a hell lot of contracts in India. I mean, the annual revenue from our contract is $12 billion of India. And what I am giving, I mean, apart from all these services, what I am giving is e-contracting services. That is, I mean, if you want to sign an NDA in India and with a person sitting in Delhi and with a person sitting in Mumbai, you can do it online on my website only because this is a very, I mean, we have integrated into various government departments and all to make this possible, actually.
So do you have a product already that does all this digital signature with public key encryption?
Yes.
Rahul, can you let me finish? You keep talking over me. This session is not supposed to be, it's supposed to be you talking over me. You have to give me a chance to give you feedback. Otherwise, there's no point of this session.
Yeah.
So the question I was asking you is, do you have a product that has both PKI digital signature capabilities and contract management? Because those are two gigantic industries. Contract management is a separate industry, digital signature is a separate industry. Both industries are large industries and both are complex products. So are you telling me that you've got a product which has both of those in it already?
Yes, I've got them. See,
you have developed this product?
No, I have modules of all the. I mean, nobody can develop e-contract module until unless the government gives a nod. Okay, so the government has developed few modules. I mean, they are beta modules. I mean, for their e-governance has been in India since around 10 years, and they have been developing software for 10 years. And for things like contracts needs stamping and registration. See, if you sign a contract, I mean, we write an agreement on my side, and you sign and I sign it. So it's a contract. But India, the law is okay. Even if you have made a contract, then you need to stamp it and register it also. I mean, you need to pay the stamp duty on it, and if required, you need to register it also. So I have all the modules with me. I have the signing module with me. I have there is a new module called as AyeSign, which has come up, which is from the government of India. It is OTP-based digital signatures. I mean, you don't need to use your USB and all anymore, and you just need to enter the OTP which has come up on your mobile, and then it will be just digitally, the document will be digitally signed then. And then I have the e-stamping module. That means I'm connected to the treasuries of the government, of the states actually. It's a state-specific thing. Each state has its own revenue department. So I'm connected to the states through their treasuries, online treasuries. And once you made a contract, I just collect the money from you and I give the money to the government. That gives you stamping. And then for registration.
So what you're describing, especially if this is going to be a central system that has so much government dependency.
Yes.
And you need government authorization. Again, you're talking over me. You're not letting me finish. You keep talking over me. So what I'm trying to ask you is, if you're trying to do something that has that many government dependencies, what guarantee or what evidence do you have that the government wants you to run this instead of doing this as a government service of their own? Like, the identity service that India is doing is offered by the government, right? And it should be, as it should be. Like if you're talking about this public key encryption system, and that is going to be the one central public key signature system, and it has stamp duty and registration process attached to it, I don't think the government wants a private company to be managing that. It'll have to be a government offering.
No, our government very much wants it to be like that only. Even our Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 1st of July of this year, he announced it on the public television that he is very much welcoming for PPP kind of a partnership. And since I have been working on this project since past 1 or 2 years, and I have been meeting very much government officials. Our project has been submitted to the Revenue Department of Maharashtra State also. It is with the Ministry of IT, and they are more than willing to give away their modules. See, government job is to give away modules. I mean, it will give you a way to acquire a digital signature online, but it won't do that. It will create a document for an enterprise, and then it will lay out, it will make it beautiful, and then it will provide you with an environment. Find the ICICI Bank's document over there. No, the government is only going to provide me with the digital signature service, with the eKYC service. That is, eKYC is the Aadhaar thing. You enter your Aadhaar number, and then you get the OTP on your mobile. And if you have entered it correct, that means that is you. And then it will give me e-stamping module. It will give me e-registration module. It will also give me the time stamping module, which is used while executing contracts and all. But the government is not. It will also create a repository. If you can come on the issues slide. Repository, the government has created a repository so that every organization or any business. See, the thing is when an electronic document is issued, I mean, when you attach if you just take a picture of your identity card and you upload it, then it is not valid. You see, if it's just a Xerox copy, then it's not valid. So the documents which we pick up, the important documents, we pick up from the DigiLocker. It is a government repository which has been recently introduced, and all the organizations and the businesses have been asked to store their important documents in this repository. And then we are issuers, and then there are issuers and requesters, registered entities like us, who can use those documents. For example, I need to take out your PAN card details, so I can use the DigiLocker and get your PAN card details.
So Rahul, I understand. We're running out of time. So, I understand that government wants to be a repository. The question is how much of this infrastructure exists such that you can build a service like this on top of that core infrastructure that you are assuming that the government has. That is one question. You don't need to answer this question to me right now. It's a question that you should ask yourself and try to answer it offline. I already gave you feedback on marketing strategy. What I call go-to-market strategy is the term for marketing strategy, as you call it. And I believe that to be able to make this a significant revenue-generating business, you're going to need to sell to enterprises and to banks and whoever has a lot of this kind of activity, online contract kind of activity going on, or online forms, online signatures kinds of activity. You're going to need to get large enterprises to adopt the system so that you can kind of go to market through them, and it's a that's kind of like a tried and true go-to-market strategy for digital signatures. And funding, until you have a validated business at a concept level, this is not fundable yet. So you're going to need to get to a validated business before anybody would be willing to fund it. That's where you are right now. And if you're interested in working with any of this within 1M, you're welcome to, and we'll be happy to help you learn. And as you said earlier that you're not familiar with the startup world and how it works, we can, that's what we do. We can teach you everything that you need to know, and that's really up to you.
Okay, but Savannah, correct, today I'm at the point where I can do e-contracting, and I can give away these digital signature services to anybody in India. Today I'm there.
Oh. Very good. Good luck. I hope the government negotiations in particular resolve, because Indian government has a timeline that I'm not particularly fond of. But never mind, we don't need to discuss that. I'd like to move to the next presenter. Thank you, Rahul. Shoma Haldar, you're up next. Shoma, please unmute your line.
Do you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
So can you go to the next slide? So our company name is Jugaro, and we have 3 co-founders, one of which is me. I'm basically a data scientist from the Silicon Valley for the past 5-6 years, and this company is based in India, so definitely moving back to India in the last few months. The other co-founders here are Rajdeep, who's an IIT Bombay graduate and also a banker. Prateek Jha is also an IIT Bombay graduate. He just graduated this year. So what we're trying to capture here is basically, you could say, Juga. So you can actually skip 1 or 2 slides here, maybe 2 slides. Yeah, so this one. Yeah, so what we're trying to solve here is basically Jugaro is like a personal e-concierge service. What we're trying to get to people is like we are trying to deliver or get things done for people with just a text message. And so since the middle class consumerism has increased over the past few decades, we are trying to leverage the mobile usage and especially the WhatsApp usage of people and trying to get things done. So people can ask for deliveries, point-to-point deliveries. People can ask for advice, and also the vendors who want to get visibility, they can even ask when they want to get any of their products being sold. So the business model here is basically when we are delivering stuff or when we are delivering food in particular or making point-to-point deliveries or buying products for people, we are charging them a service charge. And the service charge is based on the rarity of the item, the amount of distance that has to be traveled, and a couple of other factors like how much energy we spend on procuring the items. The way vendors, since vendors are getting visibility, because in India there are only 5% online presence for most of the vendors, and things are more difficult to get, we are giving vendor visibility. So small vendors register with us, and they give us a commission whenever we forward them a service. And Jugaro has been operational in Mumbai. So can you go to the next slide? So basically, we are targeting a very small a group of people who are busy, who are lacking the expertise when they're trying to buy items, and people who have moved to new cities, small businesses who don't have online presence and the expertise to promote themselves, and also freelancers, and the businesses who don't have a delivery infrastructure. So the most important bit here is crucial bit here is to engage as many people or customers in hand, and that is why we have free advice. So what we have seen so far is if we are getting 100 orders per day, at least 45% of them are advice orders where we don't really make any money out of it, but the ROI from these advice orders is that these people, once they have some good advice, they do come back to us for deliveries, and that is where we start earning money. And because Jugaad is a very popular term in India, people can associate it with it really and quickly and fast, and that is what has given us a lot of popularity in the 1.5 months that we have been functional. So there have been days like where we have served 100 orders, I mean, of which maybe 40 to 50% could be advice orders, but people are trying to get to this idea really fast. And
what kind of advice are we talking about?
Advice like if someone is trying to buy a phone or somebody is trying to specific, can you go to the next slide? The next one. Yeah, so here are some examples of advice is like, I want to get a 1 BHK apartment in Santa Cruz. So the query starts like this: I want to get an apartment in so-and-so place. And then we give advice. These are the people, these are the brokers, and here you can go and get the service. Now, once they have looked at different flats, they select a broker and they go for that flat. So we get some amount of commission from the broker itself. So it starts with the basic advice, but then when they are into it, we start earning money. And that is what our business model has been. There are some cases where we have not earned money, like I want to apply for a job, what are the good websites? We have no place to earn money in that cases, but we still try to maintain goodwill in these cases because we have seen that most of the customers who went for advice first came back for deliveries. So that is one bit to it. Can you go to the next slide?
So all these examples that you have here, they're very diverse, and to be able to provide, so do you have vendors of in all these categories? Are you trying to fulfill orders in all these categories?
Exactly. So what has happened in India is there are a lot of niche service industries that have come up. Like there's one app for housing, there's one app for services, there's one app for food, and people don't end up using any of these apps because it is difficult to maintain, especially when you have so many apps. So what we are giving them the leverage is we are using WhatsApp and text message as a service, so they don't have to use any apps. We are keeping it as simple as possible, and at the end, we are actually tying up with these service providers or these like even local service providers to get them the customers, which is basically getting them money, which is giving us money in the middle. So we're basically acting as a platform for both vendors and also for the customers. So just creating a channel between them and trying to leverage that and promote ourselves and also get some profit out of it. So right now, we don't have any, like we have an app that is ready, but we don't promote the app because if you're promoting the app, it again becomes like an app-based service which we are trying to keep away from. And we are targeting one market at a time. So right now we are functional in Mumbai only. So our delivery boys and people circulating in Mumbai only, but we slowly want to spread to other cities. Like Pune is a quick win because it's a small city. It has a lot of connected services, but there's no such service industry or there's no service provider in Pune. So Pune, Kolkata, these are the untampered markets, which is where people are looking for good services, but there isn't any. So we haven't even spread to these cities yet, but we do advise for any of these people here. So this is like what I said, the revenue model based on commission and based on the service charges when we make a delivery. We have a lot of competitors as of now, Grofers, which is basically, which is something like Instacart in US. Good Service and Dude Genie are two vendors who are trying to do the same thing that Jugaad is trying to do. Good Service is located in Delhi, and they raised like a 1.4 million from Sequoia Capital last month. Dude Genie raised up a couple of crores, and they are functional in Bangalore. So the Bombay market is completely unexplored at the moment, and we have seen interest from a lot of investors who are willing to invest in this area. But the problem is that there are so many vendors that have come out in the last couple of months that they want to see more before they start investing.
So, you know, Shoma, the consumer concepts like this, typically if you look at the funding cycles of these, they typically need to see traction. So I don't follow Good Service or Dude Genie or any of them, but I imagine they're probably showing certain amount of traction and certain amount of focus, and they have more evidence of things working. So what bothers me about what you've presented here is it's too diverse. You know, the range of services is too diverse, and it's going to be very difficult to scale anything with that diverse a range of services. If you can narrow that down and really become experts in certain things, and you know, you can always expand categories over time, but if you can win a few categories that really scales, then that, to me, that is going to be a more interesting business than and something that is going to show a certain amount of scalability. And unless you can prove that you are able to scale quickly and show real adoption, it will be hard. And I mean, and the thing is, you know, these kinds of consumer concepts do not have huge barrier to entry. So investors take the position, okay, well, let all the horses run, and let's see who finishes in the first three, and we'll fund those.
Right. So we basically wanted, you're exactly right. We wanted to invest all our energy in one vertical and then go from there. But then what we saw over a period of time when we were doing the market study for the last 7-8 months is like getting to that one vertical will actually, before we go to that point, we actually need to like keep it as black box as possible so that we can actually like create a confidence among people that Jugaado can get anything done, and at the same time.
No, I don't think that's correct. I think that's a flawed assumption.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a flawed assumption.
I mean, it could be. Yeah, I mean, can you like then? I mean, basically, I want your feedback on it, like how we need to like expand.
You need to position the company. See, we have this philosophy, and if you're interested, we'll be happy to work with you on figuring out what the right positioning is. But you know, we have a philosophy that don't spray and pray. You're doing exactly that. You're doing a spray and pray and trying to see if it sticks or what sticks. That's not the way to build a business. You kind of need to make informed decisions. You need to, I would like to know what these competitors that you've listed here, where are they gaining traction? If these guys are further along, if they have more users, they're making more revenues, where are they getting traction? What can we learn from the market? And you know, based on very thorough market research, you'd make that decision on where are the merchants, where are the vendors, if there's only one real estate service or, you know, 3 real estate services online to find an apartment, the consumer should be going to those real estate services. Those real estate services are also marketing. It's more in the fragmented industries where there's probably more of the kind of concierge service that you are offering will have more traction and more interesting value proposition. If it's an oligopoly, that's not the kind of places where I would position this service. Segments that are oligopolies are not fit for this kind of service.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the only reason why we kept it so high level and black box, like one was whatever I said, that we are trying to get the interest of the people, and also because none of the services in India which are concentrating in any of the verticals like housing or services, they haven't gained a lot of traction yet. Like it will be a lot of like people's familiarity.
But there's a reason for that. Housing is, I think on the housing side, there are actually housing portals. Real estate is travel, real estate, jobs. These are some of the biggest internet categories in the world. So every geography has their own, you know, few, and these are heavily invested in categories. So I don't see why you want to go into those categories. You need to go, that's what I'm saying, oligopolies are not the right places to position a service like these. Those would be handled by the ones that are specifically dedicated portals for that category.
Okay, got it. So one of the things that we have, like, I completely agree that it's not a good idea to go in all those sectors. But some of the things that we are seeing here is people are not really, even the services are available, and that the fact that we shouldn't go there, but people are not willing to even look at those services. Like they are not as used to using a service app like electrician or handyman apps on their phone. They would rather call somebody directly. Somebody have a familiar face.
Yeah, but that's because that's a function of an emerging market, right? This is not a mature internet market, and it's definitely not a mature e-commerce market. We know that from many dimensions. This is the market that doesn't even use credit cards online. They need cash on delivery. So I mean, you are dealing with an immature e-commerce market, so obviously there are all these friction points. But the point is that if you try to go compete with people whose dedicated work is to sell housing, you know, whether it's selling apartments, renting apartments, or whatever, that whole category of real estate, online real estate as the segment, I don't think that is a good idea, because there are other dedicated players with specialized expertise, specialized offerings, and it's up to them to figure those categories out. So you need to find the gaps in the market that are, you know, where what you're trying to offer are more interesting and more relevant. If I were you, I would really research where those other players are getting traction, and then if you decide that if you want to work with 1 million by 1 million, you need to bring that data to me so that I can help you work through that positioning. This company is not going to be successful unless you get your positioning right.
Okay. Okay. And completely agree. So that's like a link of one of the media coverage that we had recently. So the questions that I have is like, a part of it is already answered, which is basically finding the right niche or the vertical where we need to work on. Second of all, like, I mean, this is completely like, I know this is kind of related to whatever you answered, but in other words, like if I'm trying to say, let's say we have figured out what the niche is or what the vertical is, like are US investors willing to invest in the Indian market? Or that's one question. And another question which I've not listed here is like when I'm looking for smaller angel investors who are trying to invest, like how do I go about it?
So the answer to your first question, are US investors willing to invest in the Indian market, is as follows. If you're doing a business that has roots in India, that starts in India, but actually has a global market, then US investors may be willing to invest. If you're looking at an India-facing business, which yours is an India-facing consumer business, those kinds of businesses tend to be financed in India. So even the large even in the large US venture firms, they all have Indian outfits, and those are the outfits who are going to be investing in your company. If you're working on a global plan, then there are a lot of questions that you need to answer, and I'm kind of giving you a more generic perspective so that other people listening and who may have the same question can, think about it this way. If you are doing a global plan, then you should ask yourself the question on where to raise money, where to situate your headquarters, and there are many options on that. Then you can raise money in the US, you can raise money in then you have to decide whether it's Silicon Valley or somewhere else. That doesn't mean you can you still can keep your operations, large part of your operations in India or elsewhere, any other geography, because there is a serious talent problem in Silicon Valley right now. The talent situation is very competitive. So people are willing to look at these configurations, but if you're looking at a business where the market is India, you're going to be an India-based business, and the market is also in India, the likelihood of foreign investors investing in that business is very low. And then you're asking the question about angel investors. Well, as far as 1 million by 1 million is concerned, we introduce you to investors if you get to a point where you are fundable based on our judgment. And we handhold you through that process of both understanding, what entails fundability, how to get there, how to put the pieces together, how to put the collaterals together, etc., how to put the strategy together, and what kind of validation you need to be fundable. Once you get to that point, we are happy to introduce you to investors.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think yes. Okay. I don't think I have any questions, so if you...
Okay, great. So, folks, I am going to spend some time explaining to you how 1M works. So all those of you who have asked questions about marketing strategy, customer acquisition strategy, funding strategy, etc., you can listen to this segment, and then we'll open up the call for Q&A again, and I'm happy to take more calls. Just one request before we get into this segment. If you like what we're doing here, please refer the program to serious entrepreneurs. We're looking for serious entrepreneurs who are willing to commit years of their lives to build a business, not fly-by-night people who have unrealistic expectations that you can make money quickly. That's not how startups work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment. It's you need a lot of staying power to make something happen. So you kind of need to stay with it, stay with your project and deal with the issues. And especially for first-time entrepreneurs, the learning curve is extremely high. So our emphasis is to make that learning as smooth and as efficient for you. So here are the resources. Everything is at 1mby1m.com. As I said, remember, this is a absolutely 100% virtual program. You can join the program from anywhere in the world, and you can join the program as early in your cycle as possible. We don't ask you to have anything in place for us to want to work with you and to start helping you. In fact, we prefer that you start following the methodology as early as possible, as opposed to, fussing around, kind of bouncing around and making mistakes and losing time. Because what's important about time is your energy, your emotional energy, your, the amount of effort and the amount of work that you can put in is much higher just from a optimism and strength and emotional energy point of view early on in the cycle. The more you can, the more you move along, and if things are not working, you start to get discouraged, and would rather you follow the methodology, follow the process, and gain, momentum, gain success early on, so that you can really harness that energy. So you will find a free blog on our website, and that's very rich with content and material from which you can learn, and it's completely free. Then you also have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, of which we have 12 volumes. So all these are available on Amazon Kindle, and the first 4 are available also in physical book format from Amazon and Flipkart. So these books basically double-click down on each of the issues that the title explains. Look them up. Each of the books contain about 12 to 16 case studies, and we help you learn one of the topics of importance in this entrepreneurial journey that may be relevant to you. And it's a good way to learn. It's a good, very low-priced entry point into learning the 1M1M methodology. Then, you'll find tons of video FAQs on understanding how this 1M1M program works. We can help you a lot. You can either continue to learn by attending these free sessions. You can cut through the chase and go join the premium program. If you're evaluating joining the premium program, please study the material that's on the website and learn how the program works, and decide for yourselves, whether you want to join the program or not. Or, if you decide that this program is not for you, you don't need to join. This program is not for everybody. And I keep emphasizing this. You kind of need to be a self-starter, and you need to be willing to learn on your own. We will work with you shoulder to shoulder if you put in the work yourselves. But this is not really a spoon-feeding kind of program. We will do a lot for you if you are putting in the work yourself. So it's really, the success depends on how much work you put in. We've done we've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs in these sessions. This is our 268th roundtable. If you would like to pitch or attend one of these free roundtables, go to the free roundtables page and register. And then the premium program offers you full guidance on how to put one step before the other. I will work with you consistently. The 1M1M team is going to work with you consistently to help you move forward. You have a great curriculum to learn from. There are over 600 entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, who have participated in developing these curriculum. You get the benefit of all their experiences. You get strategy consulting in private sessions like these, but they are members-only sessions where you get to discuss your projects and get feedback. And in the combination of the asynchronous self-learning mode curriculum and the strategy consulting is very powerful. That's how we deliver the coaching. Then we help you by connecting the dots. We introduce you to potential customers, channel partners, investors, media analysts, wherever you would make progress, we will help you connect those dots. The $1 Million Club on the website is a set of examples, case studies of companies in our program that have been successful in crossing the threshold. And there's an ROI analysis of the program on the homepage as well. We offer for $1,000 annual membership fee and no other charges, the equivalent of $375,000 worth of cash plus 5 to 10% equity worth of value. So $1,000, that's all you're paying, and you're getting this enormous amount of value from the program. It's an extremely high value, high return on investment program. That's pretty much it. You know, you can look around on the website and really educate yourselves. We are not going to try to sell you anything. You don't have to join this program. If you choose to seek help from us, the program is set up to help you, and we'll be very happy to work with you and help you through the process of whatever issues that you're struggling with, whether that's funding, whether that's positioning, whether that's customer acquisition, whatever issue you are dealing with, we will be happy to help you through that. And as I said, it's a case studies and video lectures-based program where over 600 successful entrepreneurs have participated, shared their journeys, their advice, and everything. That's pretty much it. We follow a lean, capital-efficient, bootstrap startups methodology. And we give you access to our media channels. We have huge presence in social media. We will be happy to let you use those channels to get the word out about your product, your service. If you are in some part of the world and are trying to develop an entrepreneurship ecosystem, and if you'd like to partner with 1M1M, please contact us. We have the affiliate program, and we'll be happy to partner with you as an affiliate partner. These are the upcoming free roundtables. There are 2 more in July and then 3 more in August. So that's the summer lineup, 5 more roundtables this summer. Vision India 2020 is the 13th book from the 1M1M program, where we have published $45 billion business ideas. You're welcome to take any of them, more of them, however you want to interpret them. It's essentially the goal of this book is ideation. So, at the first step of doing a startup is that process of ideation. You have to decide what project are you going to work on. So this book is written as business fiction, as if we are sitting in 2020 looking back on how we built these businesses. So you can take a lot, you can learn a lot from these ideas and do whatever you like with it. 1M1M Incubator in a Box is a program that we use with our corporate partners to do corporate incubation primarily. We are starting to work with some other kinds of organizations as well, including governments. So if you're trying to run an incubation program and would like to partner with us on that, the Incubator in a Box program is your solution most likely. These are some of the more recent books in the Entrepreneur Journey series: $1 Billion Unicorns, Carnival in the Cloud, Bootstrapping with a Paycheck. We very much support people who are starting a company whilst holding on to their full-time job, and this book double-clicks down on that mode of entrepreneurship. From e-commerce to Web 3.0, how to leverage the evolution of the internet. And you're welcome to start with one of the books as a way of learning. The whole point of the program is learning, so we try to offer you many different options of how you can learn. So now it's the time for Q&A. I will see what you have typed in the public chat. Akshay Sachdeva, wondering if you take one-on-one sessions. Akshay, there is a one-on-one session beyond the premium program. So if you are a part of the premium program, and if you have gone through the premium program and you still want to do one-on-one sessions, there is an option of doing one-on-one sessions that cost $750 per hour. So if you are interested in that, you need to send us an email, and Irina will give you the instructions on how to participate in one-on-one sessions. Rahul Sirohi says, maybe I could not properly convey my message. To summarize in one line, I can say currently there are 900 million issued digital signatures in India and 0 ways to use it. Okay, good to know. That still doesn't change any of the feedback that I gave you, Rahul. Anybody else? Questions, comments? Introductions, this is also a good time to introduce yourselves. This is a working session. Tell us what you want to work on, what kind of things that you want feedback on. And by the way, folks, if you have questions about the one-on-one program after the session, please email Irina Patterson. Irina@1mby1m.com is her email address. And she'll be happy to answer your questions. If necessary, she'll get on the phone with you. All right, questions. Anybody? Questions, comments, introductions? Where are you calling from? What are you working on? What brought you here? What are you stuck on? What kind of issues are you dealing with? You have to ask questions. That's how you clarify issues. Rahul, this is a public chat. Please don't send me private messages. Set your chat to send to all participants, and then ask your questions or comments, whatever is fine. Feel free, anybody. Go ahead, Rahul. Go ahead with your additional questions or comments. Anybody who has additional questions, comments, either on the phone or by public chat, please go ahead. You know, we have been running this program now for 5 years almost. It's coming up to 5 years this December. So we have pretty much been able to help entrepreneurs who are willing to work, you know. We don't have any silver bullets. We do not claim to have any silver bullet. However, we have been able to help a very large number of entrepreneurs at this point. So the chances of our being able to address your issues or, you know, help mitigate your problems or challenges is very high, and we will work with you on whatever those issues are. Rahul Sirohi, I think we got confused with customer acquisition strategy. Number one, we are providing a portal to use digital signatures and create digital identities. This is for individuals only. We don't have to sell it door to door. Rahul, how do individuals find out about your portal? You're going to have to sell. Yeah, you're going to have to market this portal, and this consumer marketing is an incredibly expensive proposition. The way to market this portal is that if the portal is it doesn't matter whether the need is there or not. This is all new stuff. The market will need to be educated big time. And the best way to educate the market to do what you're trying to do is through killer applications. So if it's signing up for a bank account where the bank basically handholds people through the digital identities, digital signatures process, that gives you a channel to work with consumers, because consumers come to banks then introduce them to the digital identities process, and they can sign up. That would be a reasonable way to get to a lot of different consumers who around the killer app. Yeah, but e-contracts, that has to be driven by enterprises, whether it's banks or other kinds of businesses. Great, if you've cracked it, go build a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar business. You probably don't need us. This program is not for you. You know everything, so this program is not for you. We are here for people who are looking for help. You obviously are not looking for help. You already have all the solutions, so that's not the kind of, you don't have to join this program. It's not necessary. So I imagine I cannot really help you. Yeah, I don't think I can help you, Rahul, with funding. I don't think 1M1M is the right program for you. Shubhangshu Garg, please don't send me private messages. It would be great if you could, cut and paste your message into the public chat. I will read it out. Shubhangshu says he's a sales professional and attending the first Roundtable live. He has a dream to become an entrepreneur, but concerned because I saw many people giving their imperfect ideas. Well, Shubhangshu, you have to understand one thing. Every idea in the beginning is an imperfect idea and it's not fully fleshed out. You have to start somewhere, and there's a methodology that you need to learn that we can teach you and we can work with you on how to refine the idea, how to address the issues, how to mitigate the challenges, how to position is a very important thing, how to acquire customers is a very important thing, how to raise funding if that's the direction that you're going to go. You don't have to raise funding, but those of you who are aspiring to raise funding, you will need to learn how to raise funding. And if you create a business that is fundable, then we are happy to help you. We will introduce you to investors. We will help you create the collaterals, that all the material that investors need to evaluate you as an entrepreneur. All of that we will help you with. We can guide you on all of this. So Subhangshu, your question, the answer to your question is you need to join the program and teach yourself through the program and work with us, and we will help you, become a more mature entrepreneur. As a first-time entrepreneur, you're bound to start in ground zero. Remember when you were in college, right? First-year college. You didn't know a lot of things. As you studied and as you learned, a lot of blocks started to fall into place. I don't know what is your field of study, but when I first started computer science, first year college, the first computer science course, programming was voodoo. And then it all kind of fell in place. Programming, algorithms, data structures, semantics, all of that started to fall into place and everything became clear. So once you know the basics, it will be much easier for you to make progress as an entrepreneur. The same thing, exact same thing. What we give you is a very compressed, very tight, very efficient entrepreneurship MBA here. And on top of that, we coach you on your businesses, we introduce you to investors, we help you, do all the things necessary to be successful. Does that answer your question, Subhangshu? Rahul Sirohi, I have no suggestions for you because you're not listening to me. I can't help somebody who doesn't listen to me. The whole program is about teaching people, coaching people, helping people mitigate their issues, and that basically, that methodology fails if somebody doesn't listen. So if you're not going to listen to me, I just cannot help you. This program is not for you, I don't think. Anybody else? All right, folks, we will see you back here next week then. Good luck. I hope you all make a lot of progress with your projects, and we will come back and work together again next week. And remember, we are here to work with you. The whole point is that I will give you feedback. I will help you address your issues. The whole 1M1M team is going to facilitate the process of your making progress and tackling the challenges that you are facing in building your business. That's what this program is about. We will work with you shoulder to shoulder, but you are going to have to do the heavy lifting because you are building a business just like we're building a business. You need to build a business as well. Okay, thank you for coming. It was a pleasure working with you today, and we'll continue. Bye-bye.